So I've been getting quite a few people asking me about cutting their nails at home during this time. Obviously they can't get into clinic, and a lot of them are used to having someone else cutting their nails, whether it's mobility issues, tough thickened nails, or they're just not particularly good at cutting their own toenails. They have ingrown toenails or other issues. So if you're at home and you're getting to the point now where your nails need cutting, there are a couple of important things to remember. And that first one is cut as straight across as possible. If you have relatively square toes and straight nails, then you really do want to be cutting straight across them rather than down into the corners and potentially causing an ingrown toenail. And also you don't want to cut too far back. You want probably about 1 millimetre of white that you can see on the nail, just to make sure that you're not cutting too far back. But cut to the shape of the toe. If you've got a more rounded toe, then cut a little bit more rounded, but don't go down into the sides. Now I want to talk about what equipment to use. So my personal preference is the nippers, like the ones I use in clinic. They're really good, especially if you have trouble with grip strength, because you can get your whole hand around them and you can put some force through them. They're spring loaded. If you get ones with a nice straight edge, they give a nice, good, clean cut as well. So they're really easy to use. Some people prefer the clippers, the ones that spin around. Again, spring loaded, so they are quite good for that, but they are more rounded. So if you have a straighter nail, they're a little bit trickier to use, and I find they are a little bit harder because you have to go around and get the right angle on them, whereas these ones you can do from above quite easily. And of course you have got the nail scissors. I don't find they're as good, and especially if you have slightly tough, slightly thicker nails, they're not particularly good for that. You can of course just try filing them, and if you're going to do that, literally just file straight down the end of the nail, so you're going away from you. And if you do need to round them, you can just drag in one direction. Try not to really scuff round them if you can. It can just damage the end if you've got a slightly brittle nail as well. But this is good if you can't get down to cut them, but you want to try and keep them down a little bit. Just once a week, try and give them a file on the edge like that. And if you do have trouble getting down to them, you don't have to do them all in one day. You can do one nail every day, or morning and evening every day, and get them all done over a week's time. There is nothing to say you have to do them all at once. So if you struggle with bending over, if you have breathing difficulties or stomach issues, you don't have to stay down there for too long. You can stand up and prop your foot on the toilet or the edge of the bath, as long as your balance is okay, and just do a couple at a time. The most important thing to remember is don't cut down the sides, don't go too short, and just use whatever instrument you are comfortable using. If you feel you need to soften the nails up a little bit, just soak them in a bowl of warm water for 5 to 10 minutes, and that will just soften them up slightly. It might make it a bit easier. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to get in touch or pop them below this video and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, take care, stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you in clinic soon.